1963, I went on, at Easter, I went on the Aldermaston March. So the year I did my A-levels. Very funny, at half term in February, I'd actually gone for a weekend in the Lake District. It was that really cold winter, the coldest winter I ever remember in Britain. And anyway, I had a weekend in the lakes, trudging through the snow. And then at Easter, I went on the Aldermaston March. So the Aldermaston March, for those of you who don't know about these things, it was started in 1958 it was something called the Direct Action Committee, I think. And it was a walk from London to the Aldermaston, where there was the Atomic Weapons Research Establishment, 52 miles. And then the year after that, it was decided it was better to walk the other way, because then the march would finish up in London, and there could be a sort of demonstration and so on. And so, and the march carried on each year until 1963. After I'd been on it, they didn't do it anymore. 1963, it was the biggest one. There were about 100,000 people at the end of the march in London. The organisers had the idea that the march would take place in silence. It was a 4-day event. And I think the reason it didn't carry on after 1963 was that the logistics got so difficult because of the numbers. I mean, it was just imagine housing these people. He was slept in great marquees and things, and feeding them. It was just the logistics must have been a nightmare. So it was an interesting experience, and although the organisers wanted the march to take place in silence, it didn't. And in fact, quite a lot of songs were written around that time as sort of campaign songs for the campaign for nuclear disarmament. And I had sort of vague memories of a couple of these, and I knew somewhere in my house I had a book with these songs in, and no doubt somewhere in my house I do have such a book, but I don't know where it is. But I suddenly realised the songs, of course, will be on the web, which they are. So I found these two that I actually remembered, so I thought I'd sing these to you. So the first of them, this became the sort of campaign song of the campaign for nuclear disarmament. And it's called the H-Bomb's Thunder. It's by a guy called John Brunner, written in 1958. So the web tells me, I didn't know this before. And the tune is something called the Miner's Lifeguard. Didn't know that before either. Don't you hear the H-bomb's thunder echo like the crack of doom, while they rend the skies asunder, fallout makes the earth a tomb. Do you want your homes to tumble, rise in smoke towards the sky? Will you let your cities crumble? Will you see your children die? Men and women, stand together, do not heed the men of war. Make your minds up now or never, ban the bomb forevermore. Tell the leaders of the nations, make the whole wide world take heed. Poison from the radiation strikes at every race and creed. Must you put mankind in danger, murder folk in distant lands? Will you bring death to a stranger, have his blood upon your hands? Men and women, stand together, do not heed the men of war. Make your minds up now or never, ban the bomb forevermore. Shall we lay the world in ruin? Only you can make the choice. Stop and think of what you're doing. Join the march and raise your voice. Time is short, we must be speedy. We can see the hungry filled. House the homeless, help the needy. Shall we blast or shall we build? Men and women, stand together, do not heed the men of war. Make your minds up now or never, ban the bomb forevermore.